In this lesson we're going to look at how we can produce salts using precipitate reactions. So in a precipitate reaction we mix two aqueous solutions, in this case AB and CD, to produce an aqueous solution, AD, and a precipitate, which will denote by a down arrow. That's to say we've got a soluble salt AB mixed with a soluble salt CD, producing a soluble salt AD and an insoluble salt CB, which forms the precipitate. So once we know which salt we want to produce, then we have to choose our aqueous solutions carefully. We need to remember our laws about which salts are soluble and which are insoluble. Okay, we looked at this in the previous lesson. So for example, you need to know that sodium, potassium, ammonium cations are all their common salts are soluble. All nitrates are soluble. Sulfates, most common sulfates are soluble, barring calcium and barium. Most common halides are soluble, barring lead and silver, iodide, chloride and bromide. Okay, and most carbonates are insoluble, barring sodium, potassium and ammonium carbonates, which are soluble. Okay, so sort of remembering those sort of rules, we can then choose our solutions for the precipitate reaction carefully. Let's just say that I want to obtain some lead bromide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix an aqueous solution of sodium bromide with an aqueous solution of lead nitrate. So the sodium is going to combine with the nitrate to form an aqueous solution of sodium nitrate, and the lead is going to combine with the bromide to form a solid precipitate of lead bromide, okay, which will have this kind of creamy yellow colour. Let's just balance that before we go on. It's not balanced, so we've got Br2, we're going to put a 2 there and a 2 there. Okay, so let's just have a look at the practical application of this. So we've got two test tubes containing a solution of sodium bromide, another containing a solution of lead nitrate. I add the contents of one test tube to the other. Okay, so we've got our solution of sodium nitrate, and in that solution of sodium nitrate, in that aqueous solution of sodium nitrate, a creamy yellow precipitate of lead bromide will form. Okay, so what we're trying to do is obtain a sample of lead bromide. So let's look at the next steps in obtaining our lead bromide. So the first step in obtaining our sample is that we're going to empty the contents of this test tube into the filter. Okay, we're going to filter it. That's the first step. Okay, and as a result of that, we're going to have a solution of sodium nitrate here, and a residue of lead bromide will be collected in the filter paper, which is inside this funnel. Okay, so we filter using a funnel filter paper. Then what we'll do is we'll wash that sample in the filter paper. We'll wash with distilled water, that's pure water, and finally we'll allow that to dry. And then we will have a sample of lead bromide in the filter paper.